Farm Bureau members and friends, thank you for joining us this week here at your state annual meeting. As a farmer, I know how challenging it is to take 3 days away from your business. But I think we can all recognize the significance of this event. As a leading advocacy group for our state's agricultural sector, the work we do this week will shape the future of our industry. Farming in New York State remains a challenging endeavor. Taxes are still unreasonably high. The rent's too damn high. The markets for our products lack stability, and the urban-rural divide remains problematic. Given those circumstances, our accomplishments for the past year are truly remarkable. We successfully defeated a misguided labor bill that would have devastated our state's farmers. We have avoided, at least temporarily, an effort to infringe on the rights of rural New Yorkers to heat their homes. And we have pushed back unneeded and unwarranted truck regulations that would have made it illegal for New York farmers to travel on local roads and highways. But here's our challenge as we move forward. As an organization, we must become less reactive and more proactive. Or in sports terms, think of being on defense and proactive as being on offense, for which my beloved Bills lack both. Anyone knows where we could find a good quarterback? I'd be willing to trade for maybe Mark Sanchez, but after his exploits the other night, I don't know about that either. Thanks, Frank. As exhilarating as our victories were, how do we make New York a place where erroneous legislation is never even under consideration? How do we make it a place where farmers can make a decent living without drowning in unreasonable taxes? We cannot stand idly by and only assert ourselves in times of crisis. We must use these victories of the past to propel this organization forward and make New York a farm-friendly state once again. As we approach 2011, one topic that is on everyone's mind is the Farm Bill. As always, a successful Farm Bill is imperative to the success of our nation's agricultural industry. That said, we are approaching the Farm Bill in an increasingly precarious political climate. Americans are mad. The level of anti-government sentiment is at unprecedented levels. The results of this past midterm election proved, without a doubt, that our country is tired of excessive government spending and debt. This is a time where we need to lead on this issue and make sure that the funding and support we're asking for is sufficient. We're not asking for a handout just because everyone else is. We want to make sure that the money that is being spent wisely and not on a wasted taxpayer folly. On a similar note, crop insurance needs to become more affordable and more accessible. From the discussions I've had with our leaders from Washington, D.C., it is clear that crop insurance become a greater focus in the next Farm Bill. So in your deliberations today, please keep that in mind. Dairy policy remains a high priority for your organization. As the third largest dairy state in the country, we must be a major player in the ongoing discussions of dairy pricing. The industry has a long history of volatility, but as I think we can all attest, the last 2 years have been especially agonizing for dairy farmers. We can all agree that that is unacceptable. How can we expect our farmers to stay in business with such instability? And furthermore, how can we expect the next generation of dairy farmers to enter the dairy industry when it's prone to such extreme fluctuation? This is our challenge as we move forward. And I have faith in your ability to come up with practical and sustainable solutions to this ongoing problem. At the state level, Farm Bureau must remain an active player in New York government, and the future is looking promising. As you know, I've been named to Governor Cuomo's transition team, whereas I serve as an advocate for your interests. Mr. Cuomo has come up with a comprehensive plan for strengthening our state's agricultural industry. If you hadn't had an opportunity to read it, I encourage you to go to the Cuomo website and read review it. Some things you may agree with, some you won't. But the sheer fact that Mr. Cuomo put the initiative forward is certainly a good sign. It is my hope that we can view this as a sign of good faith and work with our future governor to strengthen the climate for New York agriculture. And let me also say that the Lieutenant Governor-elect, Mayor Duffy, is coming to our banquet this evening, so that is another sign of the commitment they have to our industry. With the new legislature set to convene in a matter of weeks, now is a good time to evaluate our approach to dealing with our state assembly and senate. Our victory over the potentially devastating labor bill provides a great opportunity for reflection. Through our strong ties with upstate legislators, we were able to defeat this misguided attempt to cripple our industry's state orchards, vineyards, dairy farms, and vegetable growers. But here's the challenge as we move forward. How can we improve our outreach to downstate legislators, who are typically the ones pushing an anti-agricultural agenda? It's not enough to stave off disaster. We must prevent such legislation from ever being brought up for debate. But we must do so by realizing that downstate legislators are not our enemies. We are on the same side. We share the goal of maintaining a robust state economy while protecting the basic human rights and values that we all believe. New York City legislators need education on agricultural issues, and it's up to us to do so. So as you prepare to visit with your adopted legislators at next year's PX Days, remember to share your story. Give them a vision of the trials and tribulations that you endure to provide the food, fuel, and fiber that New York families have come to rely on. This is particularly important in the area of animal welfare. With an enormous number of livestock in our state, we remain a prime target for extremist animal rights groups, particularly the Humane Society of the United States, Mercy for Animals, PETA, and our very own farm sanctuary. With an enormous budget and a track record of deception, HSUS has picked off other states one by one in their quest to decimate animal livestock. Unlike many other states that have fallen to HSUS, we have an advantage. New York does not have ballot initiative. That said, our Achilles heel is our highly impressionable contingent of downstate legislators, many of whom have already targeted the important practice of tail docking. Additionally, two bills were recently introduced by downstate legislators, one banning the use of non-necessary antibiotics, and another would require certain vaccinations. This paradox illustrates the frequent misunderstanding of agricultural issues by our New York City friends. But once again, we must help our downstate legislators understand the importance of such practices and make them realize that our state's farmers are committed to animal welfare. We must also be cognizant of the methods used by our animal rights activists to divide and conquer individual commodities from the rest of the agricultural community. We can look to our friends in Ohio as an example of what happens when agriculture starts united but then is compromised. If you want to know more, just ask our new Assistant Director of Communications, a native of the Buckeye State, Adam Specht. Adam, welcome to the team. And I'm not going to make you sing this fight song right now, so much to the dismay of your friends. New York Farm Bureau has already taken a tremendous step forward in political outreach. After years of discussion and planning, our Political Education Committee, Farm New York PAC, is up and running. This will be a wonderful resource for our organization. Through Farm New York PAC, we will be able to provide financial support to public servants committed to protecting New York agriculture. If you haven't already, I highly recommend making a visit to the Farm New York display and consider making a donation. Other state farm bureaus have had tremendous success in this area, and I am confident that we will as well. In the past year, New York Farm Bureau has taken several tremendous steps forward in strengthening our online presence. Our revamped website is up and running and has already become a vital tool for our members. It is robust, appealing, and easy to understand. I know all of you have taken advantage of many of the features. We have also jumped on the social bandwagon, media bandwagon, through our Facebook and YouTube pages, for which I'm sure the camera is working right now. These tools, which cost practically nothing to our members, offer tremendous potential in public outreach. Our opponents have found tremendous success through social media, and so it is up to us to be equally assertive in this area. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to visit our Facebook page and like us. Earlier last month, at our President's Conference, we were around 400 followers. As of today, we are about 450, and I would hope that by the end of this week, after our meeting, we could be at 500. So I would encourage you to go like the New York Farm Bureau Facebook page. On the membership front, we have made significant progress in the past 12 months. 31 counties successfully reached membership goal, up from 25 a year ago. I can also proudly state that because of your hard work, New York Farm Bureau was able to declare AFB membership goal for 2010. My congratulations to you for a job well done. This was a significant milestone for this organization. While this is a great achievement, we do not have the luxury of idly standing by. We must continue our membership outreach, both by utilizing Farm Bureau volunteers, as well as our partnership with farm family insurance agents. As I've stated in the past, my goal is to reach 50,000 members. This is the first step to reaching that goal. Strength comes in numbers, and we must continue to grow in order to be the organization that you want us to be. As many of you know, New York Farm Bureau is about to enter its 100th year of service to the agricultural community. Our humble beginnings started in Broome County in March of 1911, and no, Judy was not there yet. Love you, Judy. A century later, the reasons for our founding are still as true today as they were 100 years ago. In honor of this achievement, New York Farm Bureau and Cornell Cooperative Extension have many events planned for the next year to celebrate our anniversaries. You'll be hearing more about these in the months to come. And we will cap it off next year with our annual meeting in Binghamton, New York. I would also like to announce today the formation of the James Quinn Leadership Award. This award is being established to recognize those members who go above and beyond for Farm Bureau and agriculture. They are not your typical leader. They generally go unnoticed, and they ask for nothing in return. This award will be given annually to a deserving individual and will be nominated by you, the leaders of New York Farm Bureau. Not by the board, not by the staff, by you. Look forward in the next month to the details of this new award. And as I close, I'd like to thank my wonderful wife again, Melanie, for her constant love and support. I'd also like to thank the leaders of Long Island Farm Bureau for being gracious hosts this week. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies, for the fine job well done. I'd also like to thank Joe Vergala and Robbie Carpenter and Seal and Natasha for the work that they've done as well. As I finish, I encourage you to think of new and creative ways to lead our organization. Again, we do not have the luxury of simply resting on our laurels. We must continue to forge ahead in order to make New York Farm Bureau an even stronger advocate for farmers in the entire state. Because of you, our mission statement, to serve and strengthen agriculture, remains as relevant now as it was 100 years ago. Thank you.